Welcome to the Tribe of the Restored Warrior podcast, where coming home changed doesn't mean you're broken.
Welcome to another episode of the Tribe of the Restored Warrior. I'm Justin, joined by Dr. Ben Yokes today, and we're going to talk about post-traumatic growth groups.
Cool. The post-traumatic growth groups are something that came out of a couple different things, actually. So a lot of us went through a program that Boulder Crest does called Struggle Well, which really expands upon the work done by a guy named Dr. Richard Tedeschi. And what Dr. Tedeschi studied was a variety of different things, but where it really affects us is POWs from the Hanoi Hilton during the Vietnam War. And what Dr. Tedeschi discovered was that these guys were expected to come home as a mess, and instead they came home really healthy and became senators and CEOs and things like that. So he boiled it down into a series of principles, and the biggest one in there is reframing your trauma, and then also connectedness. So finding positive, whatever's positive, whatever you can find that's positive in your trauma, and putting that to work in your life in a positive way, and doing that with other people that are doing this same thing.
That's awesome, man. So how did these groups get started?
So it actually began out of a couple different groups, a couple different people getting together. We have a local law enforcement and first responder wellness group, and then some of the local veterans groups got together, and we ended up starting a trauma group. So it was really kind of similar to real similar to like an AA meeting or like the typical support group. And it started with that, like about 6 of us. And we just started getting together, and we wondered, how can we make sure that this doesn't turn into like that typical, war story type of meeting where people are just kind of unpacking their trauma, not doing much with it. And we ended up deciding that the direction of this should be wellness practices. And it should be really talking about the positive growth, the direction that we can develop forward thinking, positive purpose-driven meetings. And again, some LVLEO guys, you were involved in the beginning of that, Justin. And then some veterans groups came in. And what we found was that mixing the veterans and first responders was actually the perfect recipe, because we ended up having the first responders getting a lot of healing tips from the veterans, right? And especially the Vietnam vets. It was really neat watching the Vietnam vets work with these young first responders and be able to help each other heal. And then the other side of that was that, a big issue in the veteran community is that they feel a lack of purpose. And now their service is valuable to the first responders. So it really ignited this like symbiotic relationship in a lot of ways. It was really amazing.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And so what's the structure, or how are they run?
So the key to these meetings is everything stays purpose-driven and positive. So we started out with kind of a preamble, a beginning statement that really talks about the fact that this is for purpose-driven growth. We keep it light. Humor is a big heal, so we definitely include a lot of that. And everybody goes around and introduces who they are and how they served, either what branch of the military or how as a first responder they served. And then we do a thought of the day. So it's usually a thought of the week. So it's a thought of the week, something that's around post-traumatic growth, a positive, forward-thinking way to reframe our trauma. And then there's usually reflection in there. So reflection from somebody who's been attending these meetings or someone who's gone through a lot to then move on to have an amazing life. And then from there, everybody goes around the room. It ends up really opening up some interesting, really cool thought processes. But the other thing is, before we let anybody leave, we got to pack that trauma back up, right? So this one came out of Boulder Crest and the Struggle Well program. we go around the room and everybody has to share something that they are articulately grateful for in their life right now. So something that they are finding that is really positive in their life that they're grateful for, and then something that they're going to do for their self-care. So from the wellness triangle, that mind, body, social wellness, financial wellness, spiritual wellness, and that has to be articulable as well. We have to make sure that that person keeps it on that purpose-driven path.
Right. So like not eating ice cream.
Yeah. So that's a great joke. We have a lot of guys that kind of, they're not sure how to do self-care. So they'll sometimes throw out something funny, which is fine every once in a while, but we do want to keep it on task. So we do have some guys that would say, they eat ice cream on a regular basis, but we want to keep it purpose-driven. If it's eating ice cream with your kids, to spend time with your kids, great. But if it's just eating ice cream every night, that may not be the best thing for the body.
Right.
So we really want to try to dig in and make that a creativity moment where they can really think, what can I do to take care of myself?
Beautiful. So you talked to me a little bit more about the movement. What's happening with these groups?
All right. So they've really expanded. We started out, like I said, with like 5 to 10 guys in this room, and we're up. We run out of space in the rooms. And then what's happening is we're having other areas that are hearing about these things and they're reaching out. So we're actually putting a guide together right now, and that guide is going to be freely distributed. It's also going to be in the second version of our book. With at a halfway point, we're doing a free dissemination of it. So halfway through the book, we're revoking copyright, so that anybody who wants to run one of these meetings can, from the first responder veteran community, can start one of these meetings and use all of our documentation. There'll be a QR code in there, free. Just do it. The only thing that we ask is that if they're going to do it, they follow the guiding principles, which aren't too complicated. It's just that we keep everything purpose driven. We keep it growth oriented. We follow the similar format, and that this is always free, never monetized. That it's always framed in a direction that it is us helping us.
Real quick, what is the title of the book, and where can people find it?
So it's Restoring the Warrior, and it can be found on Amazon. But I would suggest that people wait a little bit, because what's happening is the second edition will be coming out with that meeting guide in the second half of it, that they're free to use however they want to, as long as they're using our guiding principles.
Good to go. Well, appreciate it. And thanks for listening to another episode of the Tribe of the Restored Warrior. Tribe of the Restored Warrior works in collaboration, contributes to Vets and Badges, where real-life heroes share their trials and tribulations. Please check out www.vetsandbadges.com for more information.